And they had told me when I was a kid, when you get old, this is going to bother you years down the road. Well, when you're a kid, you don't think of that, right? So the last 15 years, I've had progressive pain. And I mean, it was inconvenient, right? I mean, chiropractic trips, some meds, that sort of thing, but it really didn't help. So the last year, it got really brutal, severe nerve pain, and it was just, it was bad. So the decision was made, let's fix this thing. I will say that I've developed another level of appreciation. Again, the prayers from this church, the get well cards from this church have been numerous, and they've been very much appreciated. And I tried to tell everybody thank you. And if I didn't remember to say thank you, I'm sorry. My ADD kicked up, and it just vanished. Underlying lesson here is patience, right? Because God has a lot of patience with us. He's got a whole lot of patience with me, because I'm here to tell you that I can be a lowly sinner, right? But God is very patient, and I think about the patience exhibited with this church, with this congregation. We've talked about our journey, right? How many years now is the journey? Someone tell me. 4 years. 4 years journey. 4-year journey. And so if you take a look at that 4 years, I mean, just average it. Each year, there's been some progression with this church. And I know that this church is, we can be impatient, right? About how we want that building built tomorrow. We haven't got there yet, but we're getting there rapidly. We're evolving quickly. And so it's just, again, just want to share my experience with patience. And I'm sorry to say, but it looks like I'm out of time. Sorry, time if I ran over, but thank y'all for listening.
And I started feeling a lot of pain on the left side, and it got to where every time I opened my mouth, I wanted to cry. When they diagnosed me, the doctor told me that morning that my teaching days were over. Because, for one thing, I wasn't going to be able to talk for 6 months. And I'm a professional talker. Those of you who haven't seen my degree, it's at home somewhere. And I couldn't talk. And I was still in so much pain. My head was wrapped in a heating pad. And all I could do was lay in bed. But I couldn't read. And so I pulled out my little Bible that I was given when I graduated from high school. And I started reading. And I read that Bible over and over again for the first 6 months. I couldn't do anything. I could barely sip water, y'all. It was a really hard time, and Sonny could tell you. But you know what, y'all? When you go through periods of intense pain like that, I have pain all the time now. I still worked in the yard on Friday 7 hours. Sonny can tell you. Tried to get me to stop, but I wasn't quite ready. And of course, for the last 2 days, I've barely been able to walk. But I had so much fun trimming those trees. I was just a walking booklet for how much more pain can you stand. But God tells us that whatever we have, He's right there with us. He'll never give us more than what we can handle through Him. So I've always just felt like my cup was half full. And I'm just so grateful. I'm telling y'all, you can get through anything if you trust God, if you believe in His promises, because they're so wonderful. And thank y'all for giving me this time. And look.
Give you a little bit of history. I grew up in a small northwestern Louisiana town of Vivian, Louisiana. Stayed a member of that church, and I guess I'm still a member there. They'll never erase me from the rolls. I guess one of the reasons is when I was in the 8th grade, me and a buddy of mine decided we wanted to see the bell in the bell tower. And so we snuck out of service and climbed up into the attic, and they had two 2x6 boards that ran the length all the way to the bell tower. And we got over there and we looked up and we saw the bell. Well, David Bowerly decided, okay, let's go back. So we were going back, and I slipped and fell through the ceiling of the church. I hung onto the board, so all you could see were my legs were kicking. And the look of my mother's face, I'll never forget. But to this day, if you ever visit that church and you sit there and you look right up above where the pulpit is, you'll see where they have new tiles that were put in. That's because of yours truly. One thing about that church, not one soul reached out. Nobody reached out. Not a word. Any of the friends that I coached with in the school, nobody bothered to even pick up a phone. I was dismembered from them. And it was a very, very low time in my life. At that time, a lady wrote me from a dating site, Match.com. And I went to look her profile up, and there was no picture. You know, men are visual.
Yes, we know.
But her writing to me was very, very intriguing. She spelled out everything that I loved about life. And so I drove up to Temple, Texas, and pulled into the apartment parking lot where she was. I was going to pick her up for a date. We were going to go to the Texas Roadhouse. And there's Connie standing out in the parking lot. And I knew her immediately, just from her heart. And she's been the biggest blessing in my life. No doubt about it. I like to talk about prayer. You know, I do pray. And sometimes when I don't pray, God is listening, even when you're not praying. Because if God knows your heart, He's there, and He's got a plan. And He's worked that plan. And I mean, within just a few months of meeting Connie, we married. And she and her family became my family. I was diagnosed with kidney cancer. Luckily, we had made an appointment with MD Anderson, and we went down there. I was receiving immunotherapy, where they take the tuberculosis virus vaccine that we all received when we were a kid. That's what the scar is on our upper arm. They reintroduced that into my kidney in hopes that it would trigger my immune system to kill the vaccine, which would also kill the cancer in my right kidney. It did its job, but it almost killed me. And from that point on, I found the strength to get up and to serve and to be the Papa Ted in the family, to be the husband that she expected me to be and needed me to be. And the members of this church showed so much grace and prayed for me. They came to my home. They brought meals. The cards. I can't tell you how many cards I have from Robbie. I still have them. And from Kim. And from members that are no longer here. For whatever purpose, they were part of my life. But we've worked hard on this. We still have a lot of work to do. And we're going to get this thing built. Because the vision of this church has come so far from a backyard to these buildings. And we have one more step. And it's on that banner in the back. It's coming. funds come from, only God knows. But God works His magic. Sometimes you don't even have to pray, because God knows your hearts.